Wow. Greetings, everyone. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad that you are here. Today's nonsense is getting aggressive in the historic format. We are trying to take advantage of Mirror Box. And I know what you're saying already. You see a bunch of the usual characters. Torbran, Anax. Oh, John, I don't want to see this deck. But the reason we're building this deck is Seven Dwarves, folks. Seven Dwarves get +1/+1 for each other creature named Seven Dwarves you control. A deck can contain up to seven Dwarves, right? But Mirror Box not only gives legendary creatures you control +1/+1, but for each non-token creature you control, gets +1/+1 for each other creature you control with the same name. So Seven Dwarves can be buffing up other Seven Dwarves and buffing them up again. So our key synergy here, Mirror Box Seven Dwarves, is a thing I was fooling around with quite a little bit. And I went with kind of a go bigger version and stuff. It didn't seem to really do it. I did one that was blue and red with lots of kind of looting effects and stuff to try and get to the Seven Dwarves. And we did get more Seven Dwarves, but then it was so threat light, we couldn't really win. So I was like, you know what? Forget it. You know what Seven Dwarves wants to be? Aggressive. So we're going to be aggressive. So what other things do we have? Well, we have a little dwarven synergy with Torbran, don't forget, is a dwarf. And if a red source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player an opponent controls, it deals that much +2, right? So if you're going to deal 1 damage, it deals 3. If you're going to deal 7 damage, it deals 9 or whatever, right? But also Magda is a dwarf and gives other dwarves +1/+0. So some more dwarven lord effect stuff here. Whenever a dwarf you control becomes tapped, create a treasure token. And then we can go and find artifacts or dragons or stuff. We don't have any artifacts or dragons or anything. You know, we're all in on Seven Dwarves here as far as we can go. But of course, Magda being legendary also benefits from the Mirror Box, as does Torbran being legendary benefit from the Mirror Box. Similarly, though, we have a few other really good legendary creatures to benefit from Mirror Box as well. Anax, Hardened in the Forge, has power equal to our devotion to red. It's true we are technically a red-white deck, but a lot of the only mono-white card we have in the deck is Isamaru, right? So with Tajic and Aurelia both being really powerful legendary creatures, we would like to have multiples of onto the battlefield, primarily because of their mentor keyword that grows the other attackers. We're really trying to take advantage of the Mirror Box synergies. But, and keep in mind, folks, Torbran and Roiling Vortex do work the way you want. Roiling Vortex deals 1 damage to each player. So Torbran says if a source you control would deal damage, deals that much +2, right? But, notably, it does specify if a source you control would deal damage to an opponent, or something an opponent controls, deals that much +2. So, Roiling Vortex deals 1 to us, but deals 3 to our opponent. For a while, I had 4 of these in here, because it is insane against, like, the Angels, life gain style stuff. But it doesn't directly benefit from Mirror Box, so it just felt a little more mono-ready. If you were just trying to win some games, perhaps maybe pull the Isamarus in favor of maybe 2 more of these. I think it's a very good card. But we're going to see how the rest of it plays now that we've got this version together. I'm going to get some recording done. So let's see how the games go. All right, folks, here we are up against Red Protoss, and I mean, darn it, if we had 1 more land, even if it was just a red land or something, I think we would keep this, but I think we've got to send it back, unfortunately. Well, you know what, folks, the greed is real. You know what, we're on the draw. We've got 2 of our Seven Dwarves. Oh, no. Oh, no. These lands are tilting, darn it. I forgot I didn't change them out, so I need to do that. Alright, opponent erasing our thoughts. Going to take one of our Seven Dwarves, very likely. Unless they have board sweepers, then they'll just take the Roiling Vortex. They took Tajic? Hey, feels good, man. Well, they have damage-based removal then, right? It's gotta be. Alright. I think the most important card here is going to be Roiling Vortex, so we're just going to get that card down right now. It's going to be the harder to remove threat, and it kind of gets our opponent on a clock. Yeah, I was going to say, if they follow up with more Hand Disruption, then the card we want to get rid of most is going to be the Roiling Vortex. All right, opponent gets... Yeah, okay, it's definitely Board Sweepers. This is not great. Okay, opponent Bajuka Bogs away our stuff. We take a damage. It's Play with Fire. Okay, well. Seven Dwarves. Opponent take 1. Red Protoss plays a Castle Vantress. Hey, this is a good one. Magda. We get to deal an extra damage and get a treasure. Don't mind if I do. Okay, opponent takes some more damage. We are very, very likely to just play with fire their face here. Yeah, we do want to hit our land drops. Yes, okay. Got him! Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Them one-landers. Them one-landers. GG, opponent. GG. All right, folks. I mean, this is not an amazing hand or anything, but we're going to keep it. You know, we got our mirror box and stuff. Oh, boy. Interesting. Scorch Spitter. Well, looks like we're going to probably be playing with fire here. Yeah, no. Our opponent may be trying to light up the stage, and we don't want them to have that option. Vishino Pyromancer comes down. Sure. Yeah, well, that's another mirror box. We want 1, but I don't know that we wanted 2. All right, 7 Dwarves. Come on down. Anax Hardened in the Forge here, typically kind of good in these matchups. It blocks well. The 3rd toughness means they have to use, you know, a higher priority damage spell on it, which most of their damage spells can go to any target, so it can be either face or creature. Yeah, a lot of these decks do run some number of Play with Fire and things like that. So a Play with Fire can kill the 7 Dwarves, but a Play with Fire cannot kill Anax. So they've got to use, you know, one of their 3 damage removal spells or something. Like that one. Well, Anax Hardened in the Forge, come on down. Actually, I wonder if that was correct. Maybe we were supposed to just mirror box here, because legendary creatures get +1/+1, makes it much harder for our opponent to kill the Anax. But we wanted to be able to block here just in case they don't have a land drop, right? They were lighting up the stage, likely because they only had 2 land. Or they wanted to light up the stage on turn 2 before the land drop, likely because they only had, you know, 2 land, you know? Okay, Vishino Pyromancer comes down, hits our face. Do you have a mana? They do not. Oh my goodness, that was amazing. Well, let's... Interesting. Yeah, we're not the beatdown here, so I think we're going to save our Torbran and just get a mirror box down. This makes our blocks better. And it helps keep our Torbran safe in the future. Oh, crud. Soulscar Mage. That's very bad. Gitu Lava Runner. I mean, we're 100% blocking here. Okay, yeah, okay. They did not attack. All right, so that we do not have to block. Interesting. Yeah. Let's attack, I think, actually. Try and take advantage of the fact that Torbran is still on the battlefield here. Our opponent is highly incentivized to double block. Otherwise, because they've really got to block. So if they're already going to block with 1, it's very likely they want to block with 2. They don't. Oh boy, this is terrifying. I don't know what they've got going on over there, but it can't be good. Well, I guess maybe they've got just some damage-based removal. With Soulscar Mage, going to shrink down our Torbran. Yeah, like this. And then they just get in. All right. No blocks. You got it. Interesting. Well, we could have blocked there. But this is fine. 7 Dwarves. Mirror box. We're going to block with Torbran this time. We're kind of actually expecting them to kill the Torbran. All right. They do kill the Torbran. Okay. We get a dude. All right, we will trade. We drop to 8. Make another dude. Hey, that's a good one. Well, Torbran. We get in. Our opponent has to block here something. Oh, but they didn't. Oh my goodness. They didn't compute the Torbran's damage. So they thought they were just getting a free block. They did not get a free block. Okay, play with fire. Doesn't do quite enough here, so we're going to go ahead and attack. What they don't know is that we've got them. Actually, they kind of figured it out, didn't they? All right, well, GG, opponent, GG. Because they were going to have to block here, otherwise they just die. So they take 3 and 4 is 7. But we actually even have the Roiling Vortex, so they were quite dead, indeed, quite dead. GG. All right, folks, here we are up against Frank S. Good luck, Frank S. And yeah, I think we're going to keep this. It's not like an amazing hand or anything, but the Clifftop Retreat being a tap land doesn't really matter here because the Den of the Bugbear is not, right? So, feels good. Let's just get down to Magda so that if they, you know, if things work out correctly, we can get a treasure and a land. Oh my gosh, sign me up. That would be amazing. No. Okay, well, opponent takes it. Yeah, I think we're just gonna Seven Dwarves and see what happens here. If our opponent... Oh, crud. Burning Tree Emissary. All right. Yeah, they're doing shaman-y things, folks. Not great. Bone Crusher. Man... Into Elvish Visionary? Oh, man. Our opponent did have a good turn there. Okay. Well, fine. I think our opponent's going to go over the top of us here, unfortunately. But that's okay. Let's just Magda. And pass. Yeah, this deck can be really, really explosive. It's like... But this is the classic mono-red problem. Is what do you do when your opponent has interaction and goes bigger than you? Well, you die. So that's what's happening. Our opponent has interaction and they're going bigger than us, and we're going to die. Or probably. Admittedly, we have some relatively explosive plays that might change our fortunes, but it is exceedingly unlikely. All right, well. Torbran. A Dwarf Noble. We are going to attack with the Magda. Get a treasure token. Our opponent likely doesn't want to give away either of these creatures, but I was going to say, also likely doesn't want to take a bunch of damage, considering they're in the driver's seat. So they do block with the Bone Crusher Giant, which trades. They're probably unhappy about that, but, you know. Page Forger, come on, man. Yeah, they've had a good one. They can't really attack here very well, though. I mean, can they? They are? Tell me they don't have a pump spell, because that would be a serious bummer. Okay. I mean, I guess. Fine, opponent. So let's go with land, Anax, Roiling Vortex, I guess. With the Torbran down, this is a pretty quick clock. It's true it's hitting us as well, but I think our window to close the game is rapidly closing. So the Roiling Vortex doing 3 times the amount of damage directly to their face gives us a pretty good opportunity here. Not necessarily one we're going to be able to Oh my gosh. I was going to say not necessarily one we're going to be able to capitalize on, particularly not if they have another Rage Forger, which of course they did. So I think we are now very, very dead. Yeah. 8. Sure. All right. Yes, 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 yes. We will block and block. And die. GG, Frank S. GG. All right, folks, here we are up against Anarchajoey. Good luck, Anarchajoey. And, I mean, you know what? We're going to hang on to this. We have all our colors of mana. We will need to draw at least one more. Okay. This deck can do a lot on 2 mana. But really, we need the third to give us the real punching power we need, I think. Having enough mana for one of our Haymakers in either Torbran or Aurelia is, you know, going to be pretty key, I think, but not necessarily a requirement. Let's go with Magda so we can deploy our hand faster. Our opponent is very likely to be making us discard here. So being able to attack would be good. Yeah, opponent discards 2 cards. It is true. Yeah, I think we've got to do it this way, unfortunately. Need to draw a land here. If they have more ways of making us discard, it's a serious bummer. Oh, didn't get the land. Shoot, man. All right, well, Lightning Helix. Got to make a treasure. Opponent drops to 14. This is sketchy. Ah, an update is available. All right, well. mtgarena, I will update you. Just give me a minute. All right, Anarchajoey makes us discard 2 cards. No, darn it. Fine. Actually, that was wrong, wasn't it? We were supposed to keep the mirror box. We could keep that. Yeah. Bummer, man. All right. Well, combat. Our opponent, likely to trade with Magda here, does do it. Yeah, if we had kept the mirror box, it still would have been the same. This way, as far as I'm concerned, at least we've got a clock on. It is typically pretty tough for our opponent, or for black and red, to interact with enchantments. It can be done, but there aren't a lot of ways of doing it. So this way, the Roiling Vortex kind of doing its thing. If we get a Torbran, even just for a turn, we can get there. Admittedly, we're kind of quite a few lands away from that still. But, okay, wow, they have a 3rd Inscription of Ruin. That's probably the best card in our opponent's deck, against our deck anyway. So, our opponent getting pretty lucky there, I think. All right, Isamaru, get in. Opponent, take another damage. Every time we hit with this Isamaru, it speeds up the clock a lot, right? Particularly if this Roiling Vortex is kind of trying to go the distance, which at this point, we are wanting it to. All right, so here we can get, like, Tajic would be great. Anax would be great. Seven Dwarves wouldn't even be that bad. Magda would be great. Okay, Den of the Bugbear. We're now 1 land away from activating our own Den of the Bugbear, which is great. So we have just about... I don't think we really want a mirror box right now, but every other draw in our deck is live. You know, another Roiling Vortex would be fantastic. Some number of, you know, like, burn spells would be great. Okay. Okay, well, Torbran. Like I say, even just Torbran for 1 turn, as long as they don't have... If this is an instant speed removal spell, we're kind of sad. Wow, our opponent just tens our face. See, keep in mind, this says if a source you control would deal damage to an opponent. Right? So, the Roiling Vortex does not 3 us. The Roiling Vortex does 3 them. So yeah, again, this turn, everything in our deck is live. We can attack with the Den of the Bugbears for the win. If we get a land. Okay. Yeah. All right, folks. Feels good, man. Holy crud. That was a scary one. That came right down to it. GG and Anarchajoey. GG. Holy crud. Oh, man. GG. All right, folks, here we are on the draw again. Not great. Don't really like being on the draw here. We don't really have any creatures. I don't know. This is tough. I guess we're going to keep it. We do have the Torbran. We do have some down to the Bugbears. You know, we've got the 3 lands. All right. So we're going to start on down to the Bugbear. We might end up shocking in the Sacred Foundry here, but I'd rather have all untapped lands. Oh, Priest of Fell Rites. Well, we're going to pray they don't have it this turn. If they do, well, fine, you got us. But we're not going... I don't think we're going to win if we... against this deck if we don't get something down early enough to get aggressive. So next turn, the idea would be... Okay. Okay. Well, that stinks. So, Seven Dwarves, Sacred Foundry, no attacks. We do have the Lightning Helixes required to end this game if we can get a Torbran down, you know? Nightmares are the balance. Okay, well. Opponent. Gonna get in with that Sarah's Emissary? Does not. Probably wise. Alright. So, combat. Opponent. We're attacking you. Gonna make some treasures. Okay. Unsurprising blocks here. Well. Torbran. Come on down. I mean, currently we are at Lightning Helix, Lightning Helix, Lightning Helix is lethal. So, if our opponent kills our Torbran, maybe we lose. Okay, they shock in, but Faithful Mending gains 2 life. The deal is, with the since they shocked in, they still only go to 15, right? Oh no, they have another Faithful Mending in the bin. See, that's terrible. No, get out of here with that. Shoot, man. All right, well, fine. I guess we've got to kill Sarah's Emissary. And then... yeah. Probably still lose then. Because we can't kill them. And the Priest of Fell Rites just comes back. But this at least opens the door for us to draw Roiling Vortex, Spikefield Hazard, Play with Fire, another Lightning Helix. There is another one in there. Stuff like that for the win. And they've got... I guess they've got to come up with another... They mill us? They're supposed to mill themselves. They need to come up with a reanimation spell, because they can't use the Priest of Fell Rites. You have to pay 3 life. Okay. This is not good enough. So I guess we got him? I was going to say that... oh, well, yeah, no, that's still not good enough. They Faithful Mending again. They're still dead? And combat. Opponent Faithful Mendings, sure, but that isn't good enough with Torbran here. So, okay, I was really expecting them to mill themselves. Get the... you know, because they hadn't seen any... Unburial Rites yet. And this is certainly an Unburial Rites deck. So the chances of them... yeah, if they had actually milled themselves instead of milling us, I think they hit this Unburial Rites and then just win, right? Basically, or it's close enough to that it would take us a lot of turns. I was kind of expecting that, and sure enough, then they decided to mill us. That's a little weird. Either way, good game, Dark Ripper. Good game. All right, folks, we are back. We are back. Oh my gosh, the games were great. We ended up playing quite a bit because the games were so fast. I wanted to get quite a few in. We ended up playing 8. I won 5, lost 3. Admittedly, one of those was kind of really a salty loss where just didn't ever really get to play Magic. Then we lost to Shamans because they went bigger than us, and we lost to something else. I don't know. But the rest of them, honestly, it felt really good. We had some pretty solid mono red beatdown style stuff with just the Anaxes and Torbrans and Roiling Vortexes of the world. But the Seven Dwarves were a legitimately reasonable creature here. They had to keep answering our Seven Dwarves all the time. Otherwise, they just get too big. So it's almost like your 2-drop is now must answer, you know, a must answer threat. And for as silly as it sounds, I think it did pretty well. It's probably true, folks, that 4 mirror box might be too many. And then if you're not running 4 mirror box, though, like, why are you doing this? Just play mono red or something, you know? But the fact that it doesn't do any damage all on its own is a little bit questionable. As far as other things you might do, I could see, you know, there's definitely a version of this in mono red, so you don't even need the red and white. I wanted the red and white for the mentor stuff. You know, like, we didn't end up being able to utilize the mentor stuff very much because we didn't see enough of these. It's possible maybe we do just want more Aurelias, more Tajics for that to really take advantage of it and be able to stay aggressive. The fact this has evasion with the flying and stuff, I don't know. I believe I mentioned in the deck tech that maybe we might want some more Roiling Vortex, and I think that bared out in the games we played with this version of the deck as well. I think this card is really, really good, you know, against things you might normally expect. And for what it's worth, I think our matchup against the life gain style decks is honestly not that bad. If we have 4 of these. If we only have 2, it's likely not great. So go into that with your eyes open. It's also true that we don't run any basic planes, and I don't lament that, but we did run into a situation where our opponent was destroying our lands, and we couldn't go and get basic planes, so that could have come back to get us. Definitely a thing to consider. On the whole, though, would I recommend the deck? Yeah, I think the deck won often enough and quickly enough to climb the ladder just fine, and it was kind of fun. It was fun fooling around with the mirror box and having a non-standard gameplay some of the time, but also just a good solid, you know, get aggressive, kind of punch you in the mouth style aggro deck as well. So yeah, on the whole, I do recommend it. Again, the only other thing I think I might point out is that I think the Isamarus are too much of a fun of. When they come down on turn 1, I think they're quite good. We only have 8 turn 1 white sources, though, so this is probably just better off as anything else. We do want a 1-drop, I think. It needs to be a 1-drop. But it could be a burn spell. It could be a creature. It could be just about anything else. But it probably should be red because of Torbran. But I think anything is probably better than this. So there is that. But, folks, other than that, I would not counsel you against playing this at all. I think you might enjoy it a great deal, maybe even more than you think. So definitely give it a go. All right, thank you all for watching. Definitely check out Twitch stream and like and subscribe if that's the sort of thing you enjoy. So thank you all very much, and I will catch you all next time.